Let's go ahead and move on to the next story. We're going to move on to a story that has been requested, a story that's on the iceberg conspiracy list, and a story a lot of you guys have been waiting for. But most of you guys probably have never heard of it, and I'm not going to be able to pronounce the name. I'm going to try it once or twice, then I'm going to call it by its English translation. The cryptid we're covering today is the Jba Fofi, which means giant spider in Congolese, or Baku. So we're back in Africa. Yesterday we did the Groot slang, today we're doing the Jba Fofi. And Jba Fofi, like I said, means giant spider. And what it is it is a giant spider. Depending on the description, it is either between 3 feet in diameter to 6 feet in diameter. And that's important. We're going to get into that in a bit, that differentiation. So we're going to talk briefly about the spider, and then we're going to get on to the porn video. So this basically is a spider that is a legend in these areas, in these parts of Africa, where it lives in a hole, and it covers itself with leaves. But before it does that, it's actually really important. It puts up webbing between 2 trees, and when something disturbs the webbing, it senses it, because, it's still tied to the web, and then it comes out and sucks the blood out and eats you and all that stuff, as a spider would do. And people in the area are like, no, this is 100% correct. This isn't like some dinosaur. This isn't the Groot slang. This is not a mythical creature. This is a creature we have to deal with. If it builds a nest too close to the town, we have to destroy the nest. And they're like describing what the babies look like and what the eggs are like the size of peanuts. And in Africa, they're saying these things are about 3 feet big. And what happened was there was an author named, I know his last name off the top of my head, Gibson. And he went and he wrote a book about monsters in Africa. And he was investigating stuff like Mola Mempki, which is like a brontosaurus. He's investigating all like these Loch Ness level monsters, and he finds out about the spider. And he said the way that they described the spider was so matter-of-factual that Gibson thinks it existed or exists. They say it's in danger now because its environment is being encroached on. But there's a difference when someone talks about something like the Loch Ness Monster and something talks about a Jba Fofi, according to him. They're just very matter-of-factual about this is the way it mates, this is the way it feeds, this is the way it has its hideout, this is where it lives, this is the environment that it feeds on, and all that stuff. So he thought that led a lot of credence to the myth. He hadn't seen one. To be fair, he hadn't seen one. Could this creature exist? Now, and let me say this. Other Westerners had said they had seen the spider, and it was 6 feet big. And so those stories got out first, because people would go there, and they would see a 6-foot-long spider, and they'd go back to Rhodesia, or they'd travel back to England, and they'd be like, I saw a spider was 6 feet tall. And scientists would go, that's impossible. You can't have a 6-foot-in-diameter spider. Its respiratory system wouldn't work, and its exoskeleton wouldn't work. The biggest a creature with an exoskeleton can get on land, according to science, is 3 feet. So when the natives in the area said it was around 3 to 4 feet, they would describe it as a puppy-sized spider, or the size of a terrier. So when we think giant spider, the first thing we think of is like Sholbith, that one in Lord of the Rings. But these ones are actually the size of a small dog, which is in the realm of possibility. There is a creature, the largest creature with an exoskeleton on land that we have photos of, and you can actually eat. They're called the coconut crab. They sound incredibly tasty, but I don't know if they taste like coconut. I think they just eat coconuts. They're 3 feet in diameter. So you could have a creature that had a 3 feet in diameter, a exoskeleton creature. The question comes is, can you have a spider of that size because of the way the respiratory system works? And science is like, no, the biggest you could have is a foot. But I'm going to say that based on the fact, this is my professional opinion, the respiratory system, there may be a little bit of a workaround there. I have nothing to back that up. But the fact that the early stories were saying it was 6 feet, and science were like, that's impossible. But when you go to the locals, they say 3 to 4 feet. And we have exoskeleton creatures with 3 feet in diameter. I personally believe that this spider exists. I don't know if it exists right now. It could be extinct. It could have been super plentiful back in the day, like ancient times. But I don't know enough about spider respiratory systems. I know right now the biggest spider that we know exists is 1 foot in diameter. And I don't think it's like, like that kid from Malcolm in the Middle. Like, man, that guy was... I love that show, but that character was so annoying to watch. He was funny. It just... Anyways, yes, they can't get 6 feet big. Could they get 3 feet big? Likely. Possible. So, does this creature exist? I think it could. I think in the right conditions, in the right areas, with the right food source and things like that, you could have a spider that's 3 feet big. 3 feet in diameter. It's not like 3 feet tall. Well, 3 foot in diameter. It doesn't matter. It's terrifying any other way. So, now let's talk about the porn video. Now, apparently, this is how I came to know about the Jba Fofi. I think this is how most people know about it. There was a porn actress named, I'm going to butcher this as well, Sabinche Tomatovic. She's Australian Serbian pornographic actress Sabinche Tomatovic. You know what? Hold on one second. I want to see what she looks like, because I don't know why I never Googled her before. Okay, well, here's an interesting thing. I just tried Googling her, and I see no photos of her, so I'm kind of thinking now that name is made up, or the whole story's fake, but not the spider story. I believe in that. But anyway, so this was some copy pasta that was going around for a while. Australian Serbian pornographic actress Sabinche Tomatovic reported to close friends and relatives being sexually assaulted by a giant spider measuring 4 foot in size. She stated that the encounter propelled her rise to fame in Japan's underground Genki circle. Genki means like excited or pep in Japanese. I think it's actually, yeah. So, that was copy pasta that was going around. People started looking into it to see if it was real or not. Now, based on there's 3 things that are possible here. 1, it's completely made up and no woman ever banged a spider on film. 2, it's real, and this actress who somehow she's a porn actress, but somehow has no photos on the internet, which is weird. I'll keep looking, but she has no photos on the web. This actress, they got a Jba Fofi, some Japanese mafia gangbanger. I guess that's kind of redundant. Not the Japanese part, but some Japanese gangster got one of these spiders shipped over from Africa, because why not? You have tons and tons of money, and you put it on video of this woman having sex with a spider. I don't know how spiders have sex. Maybe it weaved itself a dildo and penetrated her. Maybe it just went down on her. I don't know. You think it would suck her blood out, but besides the point. And they have that on video somewhere, and it's this crazy video. So that assumes that both she is real and the Jba Fofi is real. I have a third option here. So we have it's fake, we have that the spider's real and she's real. I have a third option that she's real and she didn't have sex with a Jba Fofi because they don't exist. This is just my theory. But she had sex with a coconut crab. Which, I mean, think about it. You go to Japan, they tell you they're going to pay you $10,000 to be in this video, and all of a sudden they bring out a giant creature. You're not going to count its legs. That's not going to be the first thing you think of. This 3-foot-long giant crab walks into the room. You're not going to be like, well, actually, that is from the genus Crabitoculus. That is obviously not an arachnid. You're going to be like, oh my god, I'm about to have sex with this monster. So, I think the most likely thing is that part of the story is fake. There is no tape of Sabinche Tomatovic, because being sexually assaulted by a giant spider, you think the first thing you'd do would web her up and eat her blood. But maybe if it is true, maybe she had sex with this coconut crab. So if we assume that this story is true, which, I mean, why not? It's on the internet, right? And if the Jba Fofi doesn't exist, because at the end of the day, we don't have any proof of that, but we do know coconut crabs existed, maybe she banged a coconut crab. And that would actually make more sense, because it wouldn't immediately kill her. You would just rub its shell on her for a while until it came. I don't know how crustaceans have sex either. I don't know if they have genitalia. I'm sure they have something. They're pinching each other's butts. But, you know, if there's a video out there and this actually happened, the most likely scenario is she banged the crab. A coconut crab. So, if that's going to cause you nightmares or make you swear off seafood forever, I apologize. I should have put a trigger warning in there. I don't know. I don't eat seafood anyways. So if you ever do see the Sabinche Tomatovic tape, count the legs and get back to me. So this is a little addendum to the Jba Fofi the porn tape. I don't remember exactly how to pronounce her name. I don't have my notes in front of me right now, but the Tomatovic tape. So I was going back and I was kind of editing and listening back to what I recorded. And then I did some more research. Now, she does not exist anywhere. And I get that. Sometimes when you have these stories and you have like a person's name, they're a nobody, so you're not really going to find them. But she's a porn star. And it's really hard not to be able to find anything on a porn star. Their information is constantly getting leaked. Once you do a video, it's everywhere. You type in someone's name, you can pull up 100 photos of it. Sometimes you can show a photo of a girl's calf, and other people are like, "Oh yeah, that's Amy Ash or whoever." I don't know. But so she doesn't exist at all. So it means, again, let me say this. I think the story's a hoax because I wasn't able to find anything about the story of Tomatovic and the giant spider sex tape other than the same creepypasta over and over and over and over again. There is never any additional details to it. There was never sometimes when you find these type of stories, one source, you'll read the same thing over and over again, but then one source will say that, it was taken during this time period, like it happened in the 90s, or it was in this district of Japan, or some additional detail that we can go forward. There's not. Somebody made the story up, and they used a creature that may or may not exist. Again, I think it has a likelihood of existing. But so I hate to disappoint anyone out there who went looking for this tape. As far as I can tell, the tape does not exist. It never existed. It was just creepypasta. And people say, well, I saw footage of it or I saw a screenshot, and maybe the reason why you can't find anything on her was because she was scrubbed from the internet. But we know nothing gets scrubbed from the internet like that. But the government could do it. No. You have to be realistic about this stuff. On a certain level. I mean, we can have fun talking about a sex tape with a spider and a woman, but if you want to put it forward that this exists in some way, you need something to back it up other than my cousin knew a guy on 4chan who saw a screenshot. So unless further information comes forward, the idea of this being a tape is completely ridiculous. And it's a hoax. Now, there probably are videos of women having sex with all sorts of weird creatures, snakes. Actually, I know for a fact there's, bestiality videos out there, but I'm talking about like exotic creatures, like a 6-foot python and so on and so forth. And I'm sure those exist. And there's possibility that a woman has a porn video of having sex with at least a coconut crab, which we talked about during the episode. But as far as the exact story or something even coming close to the story of the Tomatovic tape, there's nothing to back it up. She doesn't exist. There's no additional information. It's the same 40 some odd words posted over and over again. And that is the biggest sign that it's just creepypasta and it doesn't exist. So, if that was your fetish, I'm sorry to inform you that it is likely not true. I'm going to put that in very, 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 very unlikely that it's true. But I still hold out hope that the Jba Fofi is a real creature. deadrabbitradio@gmail.com is our email address. You can also hit us up at facebook.com/deadrabbitradio or Twitter @JasonOCarpenter. I think the idea of a giant spider... and I have to say this quick, too. One of the first things that turned me on, not in a porn way, that turned me on to the idea of giant spiders, so I'm going to include this link below, was there was a story in France back at the turn of the century where near the entrance to the catacombs of Paris, people were disappearing and the cops increased their patrols in the area. And one night, a cop was walking down the street and he heard someone singing and he saw like a guy walking like he was hypnotized into this tomb of Isidore, I think it's called. The cop followed him in there and there was a giant spider. And again, it's listed as giant spider, but when you read the definition, it was the size of a small dog. It was the size of a terrier. So 3 feet is believable. And so the cop tried shooting it and he couldn't, and the other cops heard the commotion and they all shot it, and apparently they killed the spider, but the guy was dead, and they put the spider in a museum. The end. I always thought that was a fascinating story. I read that in 40 times. It was horrific enough and believable enough to my 15-year-old mind that it was true, but here I am at 41 still believing or still talking about the possibility that giant spiders exist. So, some things never change. Dead Rabbit Radio is the daily paranormal conspiracy and true crime podcast. You don't have to listen to it every day, but I'm glad you listened to it today. Have a great one, guys. That was a clip from our daily podcast, Dead Rabbit Radio. Dead Rabbit Radio is available anywhere that you listen to podcasts. It's daily paranormal, conspiracy, and true crime news. If you want to hear the full episode that this clip came from, check the link below. Please like and subscribe. And hit that little bell, too. That does some magical stuff. Thanks, guys.